Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Beer Bubbles, the bubbliest podcast in the world.
And we're at Waterfront.
And we're together.
For
once.
For once. Even though I'm working today, but later. Don't tell anybody.
We're at Öl och Spritmässan, Stockholm 2023. This is a premiere for this fair.
Yeah,
and
the Beer and Spirits Festival in English.
Yes, Beer and Spirits Festival. Sorry, I should have said that. What do you think so far, Rasmus?
It's quite nice, quite cozy. It's still quite small, but it's a few good breweries, a lot of good whiskey distilleries and gin distilleries.
I spoke to Stanley, who's the general of the festival, the other day, and he said there's more spirits than it is beer today, but hey, we're here anyhow. We're going to meet some interesting people.
We are.
We've already did our round and walked around and spoken to a few that we're going to stick a microphone in their face.
You got us a drink in the glass here.
Yeah, it's Superbird.
It's a Superbird.
No, it's Superbird.
It's Superbird. So, double IPA from Fjäderholmarna.
Yeah, nice start with the double IPA.
Well, cheers to that.
Cheers, guys. Yeah, that's nice. It's a good start.
It's really nice. It's more like the West Coast type of double IPA.
Yeah. Less on the juicy side.
Yeah.
More on the
it's quite
resiny.
It's filtered and, well, a little bit unfiltered maybe, but...
Yeah, but it's
nice.
a nice drink. We'll see if we can get a hold of Pelle from Fjäderholmarna later on.
Yeah.
Not going to promise anything, but we're going to try it.
He said yes, though.
Yes.
He did.
He did.
We'll keep that on him.
So stay tuned, and whatever you do,
drink better beer. Oh, welcome back to Beer Bubbles for the second time, because we already made the intro. We got Pelle from Fjäderholmarna.
Yes, sir.
Welcome.
Welcome to
Thank you.
podcast.
Thank you very much. Thank
We're
you.
drinking yours. It's Superbird.
He keeps on calling it's a Superbird, but it's Superbird.
It's
yeah,
Superbird.
that's true actually. But we are making the same mistakes at the brewery sometimes, so it's fine.
Feels more natural to say it, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know. It's Superbird.
It's Superbird.
It's Superbird. Why it's Superbird?
Because this is a double IPA. It's a West Coast IPA, something we like, and we made a West Coast IPA before that we called. This is crazy because now I just forgot what it's called. It's a bird. Sorry. Okay.
It's a bird.
So we actually made a West Coast IPA before that's called It's a Bird, and since this is a double IPA West Coast. We call this one It's Superbird. So that's the reason behind the name.
Okay.
It's
What is Fjäderholmarna? You've been around since 2014.
Well, actually, we started the company back in 2013, and then we opened up Fjäderholmarna, the small brew pub on the island, 1st of May 2014. Yeah.
So the day after I started up Carnegie Bryggeriet.
Exactly.
Oh.
It's quite a coincidence, isn't it?
So you were hungover the day after, huh?
But it's you and Andreas.
Yes.
And you've now moved from Fjäderholmarna to a bigger facility. But you still have the tap room on the island.
Exactly. So we didn't actually move. We moved the production, but we still have the brew pub that is open during the summer and the tap room mainly on the island still. But we moved to a much bigger brewery on the mainland where we more than doubled the production during the last 3 years, I would say.
I imagine it's quite easier to get everything there as well.
Yeah, you can't even imagine the hassle of having a brewery on a small island,
especially during the winter.
Especially in Sweden during the winter. Yeah, that's oh my god.
You gotta bunker up the winter then.
Yeah, well, we actually we had like a aluminium boat, a steel boat that could actually break some of the ice. So that's the reason we didn't buy a plastic boat. But we still got stuck with that boat sometimes in January. So yeah, it was pretty tricky. So I don't recommend that to anyone, actually.
The reason why there's no beer, the brewery is stuck on the ocean, on the sea.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
On the other hand, if you get stuck on the sea with a keg of beer, if you got a tap on the boat, you're okay.
Yeah, definitely. That never happened, though, more than occasionally. So, yeah.
Pelle, first time for the Öl och Spritfestivalen, the Beer and Spirits Festival here in Stockholm. What do you think so far?
Looks great. I see some really interesting beers, and there's a lot of beers I want to try, also some whiskey as well. So I have big hopes for this weekend.
To me, it looks really nice. It's quite cozy for a venue that's so... It's big. The ceilings are high anyhow.
I didn't notice that before. That's really high.
It looks like an arena in here, but it works.
And behind you have the scenery of Stadshuset and Riddarholmen, Riddarfjärden.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, so it's a pretty unique place, I would say.
Too bad the weather's not really nice today, but otherwise it would have been
perfect
fantastic.
Swedish weather.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Swedish autumn.
Yeah,
exactly.
Welcome.
Cold and wet.
Or what you've seen here today, what beer is the one you really want to try? What brewery do you want to try beer from?
I do want to try some beer from OO, of course. I actually went to their bar 2 weeks ago in Gothenburg, but I only had the time to try 2 or 3 beers, so I'm definitely going to try something from them. I'm probably going to try something from Jämtland, which has been a long time since I tried anything from Odd Island, of course. Then I have to make another lap to know exactly what to try. I think Omaka, of course. Omaka. Definitely.
Some Hedda beer. Well, should I ask the final...
Yeah, ask the question. Pop the question.
You're going to die now.
Yeah.
You can have one more beer, whatever you want. What are you having?
CSC actually asked me this question a long time ago at Nacka Beer and Whiskey Festival. And the weird thing was, we were on this stage and there were people actually listening. I think it was live. And I couldn't come up with a beer because the question is so difficult. But my go-to beer, even today, still is Dale's Pale Ale.
Thank you!
Season loves that answer.
Pelle, thank you very much. We're going to send you back to pour some beers because you're not working late tonight.
Well,
you're going to go out and have some beers.
That is 100% true.
I'll serve you beer tonight.
Yeah. Perfect. Perfect.
Thank you, Pelle.
Thank you, Pelle. Take care of yourself.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Welcome back to Beer Bubbles. We're at Öl och Spritmässan, the Beer and Spirit Fair in Stockholm. First time. And we got celebrity, I must say. Steve Grossman, nice to have you back at Beer Bubbles podcast.
Great to be back again.
Good for me to finally be with you in this
Nice
podcast
to
because
see
I
you.
missed you last year.
We're making this a yearly event, which is awesome.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yes, very good.
So we got a beer in our glasses. I want you to tell us a bit about this beer because it's a new one, isn't it?
Well, actually, you're drinking our foam pilsner, and it's not really a new beer. So this beer came about. We had a relationship with the band Fish, and we used to brew this pilsner for their concerts. And we made a special beer, naming it after one of their songs. And we actually had plans to, at one point, market it with them and have cans. And we were talking to their manager and working on the concept. And then he came to us and said, well, we're not going to do it anymore because most of the guys are in rehab, so it wouldn't be a great idea to make a beer. But we resurrect this beer every once in a while, and I think it's a great drinkable beer. It's got nice hoppiness to it, but good, clean, fresh flavors.
Yeah, it's very fresh, citrusy.
It's awesome.
Like
I think 4.6 ABV.
Drinkable,
Yes.
quenchable.
Very drinkable,
Quenchable,
yes. So a beer that I haven't had for a couple of years because I don't think we've brewed it for a couple of years, but it was great to see it here. So I refreshed my memory on it when I got here.
So what's happened with you since last year, and what's happened with Sierra Nevada since last year?
Oh, quite a few things are happening at the brewery. We have this brand new project called Can Do, where we have a huge canning facility that we just recently completed, and not only for our products, but we can take other brewers and other beverage producers' products and can them and package them with our new equipment. We also have a can printer, which we can print cans on site, so we can do custom work. So we're just really started commissioning that. We're also working on some NA beers. We have 2 NA beers we're going to release beginning of next year. We have an IPA and a Golden, both fantastic beers. So new to the NA scene for us, but been working on it for quite a while. and we're real happy with that. So a lot of things are happening at the brewery.
But NA, non-alcoholic, it's a big trend in Sweden.
Yes.
yeah.
Is it the same over in the US?
It's getting there. It's getting to be. There is a brewery that only exclusively makes NA. That's called Athletic. And they're in California, and they've been doing quite well with NAs, and they're sort of promoting NAs and hoping other breweries start producing it as well, so we can all together increase the category in the States, because we realize that, you know, it's a growing segment. And certainly as I travel around Europe and other countries, I can see that trend, and they're very popular.
Yeah.
So
and now the brewers can make them and taste actually good, and it's not just a sweet
now they
flavor.
can. There's some really good ones out there. Yes,
definitely.
So
One of my favorites is the Uppsala Brygghus, the road trip we have. It tastes just like a beer, bit
Yes.
thin, but still
Yeah.
just like a beer. So it's nice. To have
I'm trying some good ones out there now. So, and we're happy with ours. So we'll see where that takes us.
And the beer scene in Europe, have you seen any change in how people drink your beers over here, or is it still going on and strong?
I think it's going pretty strong. The trends in the States for craft beer now are pretty flat, pretty level. I don't know if it's hit Europe yet, but I think maybe craft is still on a growth curve. But I haven't seen the trend change too much for Europe, but I haven't visited too much this year, so I'll see how it goes at this festival when I talk to people. So
I wanted to ask you as well, because we've seen one of your fellow pioneers go under this year with Anchor.
are we talking about Anchor? Yes, that's really
it's sad.
Tragic, sad situation, and Anchor was certainly one of our inspirations when my brother and I were growing up, and Anchor, Steam, and Porter were beers that we drank as, students, and Anchor's been a great inspiration for us. And Fritz Maytag, when my brother was building the brewery, he would call Fritz for advice every once in a while, and Fritz was helpful. So it's unfortunate. I know the former employees are trying to put a bid together to buy the brewery back. We'll see how that goes, but it's a big loss
for
one of the
beer
stalwarts of the craft industry, and a brewery that's been around since the 1800s, really prior to Prohibition, and
actually has one of the indigenous beers of the U.S. The steam beer.
They invented the style, really.
Yeah.
So, yes.
So it's
iconic brewery, and it's very unfortunate.
And Fritz and Ken did the 30th anniversary beer for us here in Nevada.
Oh,
together,
that was a great beer. Yeah.
So it's really sad.
Let's hope they succeed in buying it back then, and then.
Well, that'd be interesting, and hopefully that happens, or maybe someone will come in with some cash influx and resurrect the brewery. But as of now, it's closed.
Sad, but we still have to pioneer on.
Yes.
How do you feel about Stockholm and its festivals?
Well, I've been coming to Stockholm festivals for I don't know how many years, 15, 16 years now, and I think the festivals are great. And what I like about this festival, compared to some of the others, maybe in the States, that people come just to drink and sort of just drink. But when I talk to people at the Stockholm Festival, they ask about the beers. They make a choice when they have several beers in front of them, depending on the styles that they like, and they ask questions and really want to know what the beer is. So I think looking for a little more education from the attendees here, which I think is great.
You don't see that back in the U.S.?
You do sometimes, but not all the time. I just came from the Great American Beer Festival a couple of weeks ago and in Denver, and towards the end of the evening, there's certainly people that don't ask questions, but just say, pour me a beer.
The strongest thing you have.
Yes.
It's just a party.
Yes, which is good too. So,
Steve, we're not going to keep you much longer from your monter over at Wicked Wine, but we're still going to ask you the hard question again.
No, you're not going to. I'll probably give you the same answer.
Oh, well, give me the same answer. But what if you die today, right now, what would be the last beer you have?
I told you this last year, and you probably remember my answer, and this beer is going to be released in about 2 weeks, which is Celebration Ale. and it's still my all-time favorite. And I don't want to seem like too much of a, I don't know, promoting our own beer, but it's a revelation beer to me because it was really one of the first West Coast IPAs and a beer that I look forward to every year that it's released.
I do too. That's
So
a really
do I.
good beer.
So
I just wanted to give you a
my
chance to plug your favorite beer,
it hasn't changed yet. You keep asking me every year, and I might come up with a different answer.
We'll ask until you change the,
That's right.
change the answer.
Steve, thank you very
Right.
much, and have a great festival.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Hello, welcome back to Beer Bubbles once again, and we are here with a famous brewery in Sweden, which we all love, Olle and Olof.
And we're standing with Olof.
And we start with Olof, yes. Welcome.
Thank you.
First time in the podcast.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, Olle's been with us and earlier with Ölpodden loads of time, and he's got an old podcast as well.
Ole is our poster boy, so I'm
we
more
heard
in the
that
background.
we heard that you really wanted to be here, so now we made it happen.
Well, with the two of you, of course.
Tell us a bit about the brewery, but first, let's say cheers, and
Yep.
we're drinking one of your flagships, the Narandi.
Yep.
Tell us about the beer. Well, cheers first. So, tell us about the beer and tell us about the brewery.
Well, this beer and the brewery goes a little bit hand in hand in some ways, at least in the beginning. A little bit about the brewery. Ole and I, we've known each other since we were kids, pretty much, and we've always been interested in food, beers, and Ole has been like a beer geek since since before you were allowed to drink, and he kind of like dragged me into the whole like beer world in many ways, at least in Sweden. I spent some time in the U.S. after the gymnasium in Sweden, and got a little bit like intrigued by what was happening in the U.S. then. And then I lived in Copenhagen for many years, and was a little bit like caught up in like the whole Copenhagen scene when beer started taking off there. But it was really Ole that really pulled me into beer actually, on an occasion when we did not drink beers, we just like in a very like youthful, naive way, why don't we start a brewery? Sure, let's do it. And Ole was homebrewing at that time, and I bought some equipment as well. And the day after, just got going, making beer at home.
But it's been detours, because Ole ended up as the brewmaster of Stigberget for a while. So the brand OO has actually existed longer than he's been brewing professionally, so to speak.
Yeah. There's I mean, we've always been very close with Stigberget. So, like, a quick background to how we got going was that first off, like we like saw what happened with like namely Mikkeller in Denmark, and like maybe that's like that's kind of like the only way to get going. Like, we had pennies in our names, so like can't finance a brewery, so we like why don't we try like contract brewing to get going? And we found a brewery in Belgium where we got going, but also in a very naive way. We went down there and like under the impression that all right, this will be amazing. We're gonna be there and we can actually be there throughout the whole process. And they're like kind of like, yeah, this is the guest section. What do you want to do? And like, we want to make beer. And they're like, just email us the recipe and you will have packaged beer in 4 weeks. And like, so we did that once, and we felt like we could have sent any like it was like far from what we wanted to do. Like we always knew that we wanted to have our own brewery, but we kind of didn't know the way to get there. But we realized that contract brewing in that way was not our way. So luckily Stigberget was also like right in the cusp of starting their brewery, and we kind of knew them. We had some common friends, and we knew that they were like about to start, and Pelle that has All In Brewing in Gothenburg, he was going to start contract brewing there. So we kind of like, can we also brew here? So what we did is we bought like a fermenter, and we placed it at Stigberget. So we and asked them if we could use their brew house on evenings and weekends. So we spent evenings and weekends making beers at their brew house, and then we had our fermenter there.
And they kind of paid you back when you started your own brewery, because then you had a fermenter from Stigbergs there.
Exactly. And so like, but what happened was like Olle had another job at that time, and Stigberg realized that like, yeah, maybe we can just cooperate a little bit here. It's better if we hire Olle, because then Olle can actually make our beers, and he can make your beers on like normal hours.
Yeah.
And that was great, because then Olle could actually quit his normal job and do full-time brewing. And like, I would say like long before that we'd realized that I'm not really geared for making beer. That's more on Olle's table.
You're a bit like me. You like to drink the beers when they're done, and you want them to be done now.
Yeah.
That's what I usually say. I'll leave the brewing to the people that can brew it. I like to drink it and sell it.
Yeah. I'm far too like. Well, I'm not a detail-oriented person. I mean, I care, and I'm very like. I can be very picky, but I mean, just like reiterating processes to make a better beer is like.
Yeah,
that's not
brewing beer is quite gnarly, because it's very much detailed, and it's a lot of time waiting, a lot of cleaning, and then those small little details to get everything right.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit too impatient as well. I'm like, come on, let's get going. So,
but that story with you and Stigberget really like isn't like an evidence for the thing we usually say, sadly, that the Gothenburg is the beer capital of Sweden. Like that camaraderie.
No. Gothenburg is the brewery capital of Sweden.
Brewery
it's not
capital.
the beer bar capital
not the
of
beer
Sweden.
bar capital, but the brewery beer capital.
I agree 100%. I think that like the beer scene in Stockholm is it's amazing. The bars here are amazing, and like, have the best beer bar in Europe. Akkurat. It's like we don't have that in Gothenburg.
We're extremely proud of working there.
Yeah.
By the way, but because it's an institution that's been around since '95, and we're trying to keep up the good work all the time. So it's. But thank you for saying that.
Thank you.
We still think as I said, Gothenburg is the beer brewing capital of Sweden, and that's, I think, because you've had a really close community, helped each other's out in a way that the breweries in Stockholm hasn't done.
Yeah. It's. I think that has a lot to do with it. Most of the breweries that are around in Gothenburg now came up at the same time, and we're like a close-knit community, and we decided to compete for like prestige and like who can make the best beer, but in a very like helpful way. So like, I mean, we've always been close with Stigbergers because we started making our beers there, and
you can't dislike Pelle from All In.
Yeah,
he's
but
just the nicest guy.
Yeah, I mean, like Pelle and like the guys at Beerbibliotek and Vega. It's just like there's numerous, like the beer community is really, it's really close knit and nice in Gothenburg.
That's really nice to hear.
I've got to ask something, because you are located on Ringan.
Close to Ringan.
Okay, but still, it's an area that's been an industrial site forever. It's kind of changing right now, isn't it? Because there's loads of breweries. There's at least Ivan's Pilsner Bar is there. There's things happening in your close vicinity now that wasn't obvious when you started out.
Yeah.
Should have bought an apartment like 5 years ago there.
There are no apartments in that area, actually. Yeah. I don't know, like it feels like it's one of those few instances when Göteborg Stad has actually managed not to mess it up too much. They've just kind of let it be and actually let things happen there. I mean, it's the rents there are still low, so creative people and like smaller like businesses like breweries can actually, they can actually make it work there. It's not too expensive, and that has kind of made it into a community out there as well, and all that feeds into each other, so it grows and becomes nice.
Should change the name to the Brewer Island. Bryggan.
Yeah.
What do you think of the venue here to talk about Öl och Spritmässan, the Beer and Spirits Fair here in Stockholm? It's the first year they're doing it, and it's Stanley who's got an Öl och Whiskymässa in Gothenburg.
Yep.
What do you think of the venue so far?
I have a good impression. It's a lot lighter than and airier than the fair in Göteborg, but all in all, I think it feels nice. What I like about the fair in Gothenburg is just like the right amount of people, and I think that's the case here. You have time to talk to the visitors, and it feels nice. I think it can be the start of future for the fair here in Stockholm as well. I like this fair in Göteborg because, you're so much in a bubble in the beer scene, so you tend to only meet the very initiated, like fellow beer nerds or like beer geeks, and here you meet the broader crowd, and I like that aspect of it in Göteborg, and I get the same feeling here.
We just spoke to Steve Grossman at Sierra Nevada, and he said like coming to Stockholm for the festivals and fairs is always special because people are initiated and they want to learn.
Yeah.
So this is this something you find as well when you meet people here?
I think so. So far, absolutely. People seem interested in and hearing about us, and it's and the beer.
And it's hard to miss your monter because you got this. I tried to take a photograph of your bright light sign up here, but it didn't work.
And it flimmers the camera a bit.
Yeah, but that's kind of like the only light we have in our stand.
Let's bring the biggest one we have.
Yeah, it's like a big hospital light.
Should I ask the life-ending question? Because life-ending, you're gonna die right now.
Yeah.
What's the last beer you're having? You can have anything you want,
but only one.
I would say Taras Bulba.
Ooh, Taras Bulba.
Yeah. It's. I think it's. I don't know. It's hard to name a favorite brewery, but it's a brewery that I really look up to.
Is
amazing beers.
Hoppy pale ale, right?
Yes. It's like European pale ale. They're super quality focused. It's crazy about like improving their beers all the time, and also like how they manage to get out their beers in Belgium. It's like a household brewery in Belgium, at least in the bigger cities. But
that's a really good brewery. So
definitely.
It's a fun answer. It's the first time I ever had that brewery as an answer.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
Olof,
thank you.
It's been an absolute pleasure, and we're gonna send you back to pour some beers for the rest of the public here. But really nice having you, and cheers again. Cheers.
Cheers.
See you in the bar later.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Beer Bubbles, the bubbliest podcast in the world, according to us. We're at Öl och Spritmässan in Stockholm 2023, Beer and Spirits Fair. And we stand here with Hedda Spendrup from one of the most prominent beer families in Sweden, with her own brewery, Omaka. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the podcast.
Welcome back.
You were here before me.
Yeah, exactly.
Hedda was actually in the first ever episode, the second episode, but the first recorded in Beer Bubbles' name, so to speak. So, what have you been up to since we met last time? You were just going to start a brewery, restaurant.
Yeah, we hadn't opened, right?
No.
Oh God, that was mid-Corona. I was about to say it was beginning of Corona. We thought it was in the middle of Corona. No, but we opened up in September 2020, so it's been 3 years now. we've had many ups and downs, but now is amazing time for us. It's going great. I've just come back from maternity leave.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm just super excited to get
you
things going.
You had Mats instead of you for a while, right?
I did.
Yeah.
He was amazing, and we could never have done it without him.
I must say, since both me and Rasmus has worked at Carnegie Bryggeriet, you got some really nice colleagues right now. You got four brewers from Carnegie.
I joke about that all the time. I was like, the next brewer cannot be a Carnegie brewer, and then the next brewer cannot be. They are.
So
and then just one after another becomes Carnegie.
Omaka has become the nya Carnegie Bryggeriet.
The nya Carnegie.
No.
But we do quite different beers, though.
You do. I got a tour of the brewery 2 or 3 months ago with Mats. I was there, and he was close cleaning the brewery. So we talked a bit, and I tried the beers. It's fun beers. It's different, some of them, and he told me about some projects they gone sideways that it did something else with, and it still ended up being good. So had a like a Keller beer like kind of thing on tank, I think.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Nice.
What do we have in our glasses now?
We have Pepper, which is actually one of our first beers. Yeah, it's been one of our classics and our top seller. It's fermented with a lager yeast in the beginning, and then we've added passion fruit and 2 different kinds of pepper, and we don't use any aromas or essences. So for a 2,000-liter tank, we use 200 kilos of passion fruit, which is it's heavy work, but it's worth it because I think the acidity and the fruit becomes very integrated in the beer, and then the pepper gives a nice aroma to it in the end.
Stays in the mouth, the pepper.
Yeah, it really does.
Itself,
yeah.
I've got to say as well, because when you started, you had this philosophy of taste over style.
Exactly.
And that is still your thing.
That is still my thing. It is. Yeah. But that being said, we still do classic styles, but for me it has a purpose to do those styles because it's going to be matched with a certain food or it's a certain occasion that you're going to drink it at. So we still do it, but we do classic styles as well. But I think it's more fun to do these kind of things. And since we have a kitchen as well, we work very closely with our chefs, and that's fun because they have a totally different knowledge when it comes to ingredients and the new different kinds of products. So then you can learn so much from them on how to do it.
And find new combinations of flavors that actually work.
Exactly.
I was actually there for your pre-opening dinner also, and I had dinner and I think I tried this one with, I can't remember what we had it with, but it was some kind of
I think it was a ceviche.
Yeah, it was, It was absolutely fantastic, and that entire night was great.
And that for me is the taste before sale, to brew the beer to match with a certain food and to find those flavors that are perfect with that kind of food, instead of just being so focused on what kind of style you're going to do that you kind of miss out on what the purpose with that beer is.
But what you're doing at Omaka is so far away from the public perception of what the name stands for.
Yeah.
I was just about to say, it's quite different from your family name.
It really is.
Most people, when they think about Spendrup, they think about Mariestad, they think about Norrlands Guld, the big brands.
Yeah.
And Omaka is kind of the odd bird out, and at some point also Gotland's.
Yeah.
But
she's the black sheep of the family, then, huh?
And she's probably the white
really
sheep.
In
our opinion, she's the white sheep of the family.
Well, yeah.
Depends on how you see it.
Yeah, it depends on how you see it.
Yeah, that's true.
But you've had the full backing of the family on this from day one, or?
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. I told them that I wanted to go. I mean, the family's brewer are brewing according to the German purity law, but I don't want to go towards Reinheitsgebot. I just want to brew what I like and what I think is fun to put in and everything. And they're like, yeah, that's fine as long as you do it your way, which is pure and authentic and real, and not just use like additives or aromas. And so for me, it's like a purity law 2.0, and it's like you do it, but you do it what do you say? You're proud of what you do, and you.
And with your own style, and with your heart and everything that you have behind it.
And for me, it's not like it's not about adding ingredients to cheat. It's about adding ingredients to make another type of beer and enhance the flavor. And
enhance it, yeah, because this one still feel the peppers, so it sits for very long.
And the passion fruit.
And the passion, passion fruit definitely. I tried this before as well. I think I've been there 2 or 3 times, so I've tried this before. It's really cool. So it's always something new on tap that is odd. but
it
fun.
really is.
It's located in a kind of a challenging area, though, because there's no other beer bars close by. There's nothing that actually pulls people to the same area. You're quite alone where you are.
I mean, we are, but we're also not, because I think there are a lot of restaurants opening up, and I don't think that we attract the traditional beer drinker either. We attract more like the wine drinkers, actually, and if you taste our beer, it's actually more like a wine in the aromas and in the way it feels in your mouth and in the way it pairs with food and our kind of food as well at the restaurant. So I would say that a lot of people come to the area for the other restaurants as well, and Omak is part of that. And I would say that it is a hard area because it is quite far away from the real pulse.
Well, you're not on Götgatan, or
no,
you're
exactly.
not on, like Tegnérgatan,
Yeah.
or like where the clusters of beer bars normally are.
So it is a bit of a destination, but I still think it's working for us, and more restaurants are opening up in the area.
I've been actually thinking about something, and now I can ask this question. In the bathroom, there's a sink.
Oh, yeah. That was the only thing that parts of the family reacted on.
I was there the first night.
I was kind of drunk the first time I was there, and I got in, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I've only been reacting like that 2 times.
Tell everyone what it is. So
It's a sink of tits. That's basically what it is. And
It is.
The water pours out from, you know what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Because 2 times I've been shocked. One place they had a Smurf village on the floor in the bathroom, like a glass sword, the Smurf village.
What's that?
There's a brew dog, I think, in Södermalm.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And that bathroom. Those are the 2 only times I've been like, what the hell is going on? Get into a bathroom. Was that your idea?
It was, actually. From the beginning, I wanted noses snoring in water. But then I found this artist, or what do you call a konstnär, like a sculpture. Sculpture. Anyway, a woman that lives in London, but she's Swedish, and she made a tit that I just fell in love with. I was like, it's amazing. It had so many colors, and anyway. And when we asked her if she would like to make our fountain, and she loved the idea, so she made this the great tit, we call it, and it's really just a bunch of tits pouring water. And for me, it's a piece of art.
Definitely, it's really cool.
But some people, I mean, I heard from one of my colleagues the other day that I guess said that it was sexist, and I was like, how is that sexist? For me, it's more like enhancing women and empowering women.
It's fun.
And
I mean, I got a good laugh when I got in there. Like that's awesome.
First time I met you was during your internship at Carnegie.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We've come a while. We've come a bit since then. I really, really appreciate what you do over at Omaka. I've got to come over and visit again. It was quite a while ago now.
Oh.
But I was so happy when I saw you today. It's like
thank you.
This is awesome. I think Rasmus is going to ask you the only really hard question you're going to get today.
Yes. This is the life-ending question.
Oh, really?
You're going to die right now. You can have one more beer, just one. What are you having?
Anything you want, but you can have one.
That would be a German Pilsner.
Any specific one?
There is actually one brewery that I had a beer from when I was studying in Germany. That was it was life-changing for me. It was an amazing experience, but I can't remember the name of it. We went there with school and visited the brewery, and I just drank that Pilsner, and it was like, what? I thought it was amazing, but I don't remember the name of it.
You'll have to look into it and tell me, so we'll put it in the notices on this one, so people
really
get to know which beer you...
Yeah, for sure.
So we can have it also.
Yeah.
My wife had that experience with Würzburger Hofbräu when she was on a choir trip, and she's a Pilsner girl now. She's like, she tried a Würzburger Hofbräu gravity poured at the Alte Kran down by the waterfront.
Wow.
5 o'clock, they open the barrel, and she had her first one, and it was
amazing.
That's a good first experience.
So whenever we go to Germany, we have to go to Würzburg and have some Würzburger Hofbräu.
That's very nice. You don't complain, do you?
No. For our 10th anniversary trip, she wanted to drive around Germany and drink beer, and I said, I found the right wife.
Oh, that's beautiful. That was a hard question, though.
It is. We know.
Hedda, thank you very much. We're going to let you get back to your monter and paddle some beers over there.
I will. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Take care.
And enjoy the festival.
You too.
Yeah, thank you.
Have fun. Bye.
Bye-bye. Welcome back to Beer Bubbles. We're getting started at the end of the day for me, but we're having a last interview with Stanley, who is organizing this fair. It's a very nice fair so far, I gotta say. Thank you for joining us in Beer Bubbles.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the that you like the fair and that you think it looks nice.
Yes,
it's super,
very cozy.
This is beautiful, and Stanley, you've been doing this festival thing for a while.
Yeah,
you just told us it's the 65th
drinks
fair that you organize.
That's right. I started my career 2008. Working for a company in Örebro called Conventum, and there I started the first beer and whiskey fair in Örebro. But I quit working at that company for 2 years. After 2 years, and 2011 I started my first fair, which was a wine fair in Karlstad.
So what other fairs are you active at right now? It's the Gothenburg.
That's right.
Whiskey.
My company is called Svenska Dryckesmässor, which is Sweden beverage fairs. We have 12 fairs in 8 cities in Sweden.
That's amazing.
And this is the number 12 of our fairs. But we have a beer and whiskey fair in Gothenburg, which we started 2013. And has increased a lot since 2013. That was for 10 years ago. And we have also a beer and spirit fair in Västerås. But this is our third beer and the spirit fair.
I spoke to you earlier this week, and we said it's not as many breweries as you really wanted it to be. It's more spirits, but it's the first time though.
It's the first time, yeah. And it's tough time for the small brewers, but we are very happy that it's we have about 25 breweries here, and some importers of beer also with international famous names. So
we just spoke to Steve Grossman.
That's right,
which is the legend himself.
Oh yeah, it's beer royalty.
And we all know that it's a tough time now, but we hope that joining this fair, you meet the broader public, so the broader public buy your product in
definitely.
And you really, I think you put the hammer to the nail head, because you found there's interesting breweries here. The big ones aren't so prominent. It's not like Carlsberg standing here with a big monter selling their Carlsberg beer. It's I wouldn't say local, but it's Swedish mostly. It's high quality stuff and interesting stuff.
Yeah, that's right. We have approximately 85 stands, exhibitioner, and for us it's very important to get place for a lot of companies or exhibitioner, because if we have many big stands, then it will be not so much more or less of exhibitioner.
Yeah.
So we have small stands, which is 6 square meters, and we have the largest stand is 20 square meters.
Yeah. So it's not massive. It's everyone has more or less the same space. A bit different, but more or less, and everyone is visible. It's a fantastic venue.
Yeah, thank you very much.
With the overlook of the city hall. And actually, it's not a it's not the most beautiful day today.
No,
but,
today it's raining.
It's classic Swedish weather.
It's still a
Nothing to
gorgeous,
complain about.
gorgeous view out over Stockholm. What is your opinion? It's been a few hours now. What is your opinion? What is your impression of what you guys have achieved so far?
Yeah.
What do you think of the fair so far?
I think it's a good start. It's not full yet, but it will be more people coming after 5 o'clock.
Oh yeah.
But it's good harmony. It's smoothly and feels very good. It feels that everybody has a place to stand. Everybody can. It's not so many lines to the exhibitioner yet, so it's a good start.
Yeah. You have a date tomorrow as well, right?
Yeah, tomorrow.
So,
We open at 11 o'clock to 10 o'clock.
We could tell people it's now 4:30 on a Friday afternoon, so people are still at work.
Yeah.
The guys, the people are here. They're people who have actually gotten off work early or taken half a day off or are pensioners and stuff.
That's right, and
so
they have time.
And they
to
have
come
time,
early.
but it's. I still think it's a really good turnout, and the ones we've spoken to when we walked around, they find it really nice, and the layout's good. I like it when you walk around, you find like little niches, and like, oh, I haven't seen these before. Like, so it's an open space, but you can walk around and explore for a bit.
Yeah, that's
It's
important.
really nice. So you're looking forward to next year already?
Absolutely. I mean, when we start new fairs, we think for long-term thinking. We have 12 fairs, and they comes every year. We haven't stopped any fair or closed any fairs since we started 2011.
That's really
that's very
cool.
important.
Yeah.
Okay, COVID, but that is that's a special occasion.
That's force majeure. So
Force majeure deluxe.
Yeah.
Well, you're in charge here. I know you're not drinking right now, but are you going to get some time to try some stuff as well? Maybe tomorrow?
I will try after work.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to? What is the most interesting things for you here today?
For me, it's I usually walk a lot. I walk about 20,000 meters per day because I want to meet the people behind
the stands.
Behind the stands, and ask them how is it? Is it going good? How can we do things better? So for me, it's important because it's 85 stands and we have time to take care of all the exhibitioner. I want them to. I want things to happen after the fair. That's what I'm looking forward to. That people buy their products. That's the most important thing for me. Because if we don't have this exhibitioner, the brewers, then we have no fair.
No.
True. That's true.
That's the most important.
Stanley, we're going to let you get back to, because we know you, it's the first day of the first time of the fair. I know you're going to be busy, and I also know you got like beautiful staff working with you here. Shout out to them who actually made this happen as well. But we have a question for you, and it is the toughest question in the world. It's a question about beer, and basically you're going to die right now. And you can have one more beer and nothing more before you go. What beer would that be?
Okay.
One final beer.
One final beer. I go for they are not here. I go for a Nils Oskar God Lager.
Oh, that's a good choice. That's a good choice. Thank you very much, Stanley. Absolutely fantastic.
Thank you for taking the time.
Having you in the podcast.
Day.
Thank you very much.
And enjoy the festival.
Absolutely.
Because we are.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ha ha ha!